Hi guys, this is Dracula here from Hi everybody, my name is Rick. Many of you know me as Dracula from the Talk Tennis message boards, and today I have the privilege of reviewing for you the newest stringing toolkit from Babolat. Now, whether you are a home stringer, a shop stringer, professional stringer, or a combination of the three, I promise you, you will not be disappointed with this toolkit. It has everything you need to string a racket. The tools are excellent. They should last you a lifetime if they're well taken care of. They are both performance oriented and they are made for comfort. So let's see what's in the box. Now, as you can see, this is an older toolkit on my left and the new Babolat toolkit on my right. And as you can see, it's a little bit smaller than the older toolkit. I'm gonna open it up and show you why. Now, one of the reasons the older toolkit is going to be a little bit larger than the newer toolkit, you'll notice here that the older toolkit, Babolat used to include 2 starting clamps. They also included 2 long awls, which really aren't necessary, but they were nice to have 2 of them, but not really necessary. Nor was it really necessary to include 2 starting clamps, but it was always very nice to have the 2 starting clamps because a lot of us do use more than 1 starting clamp during a string job. The newer toolkit, you'll see that it only has 1 starting clamp and 1 long awl. So let's focus more on the newer toolkit from Babolat. Alright, so one of the first things you'll notice with the new Babolat toolkit is the new Babolat logo, the double line. And Babolat about 2 years ago decided to change their logo to what I refer to as the double-edged razor logo with the slash across instead of the 2 straight lines across. So that's the first thing you'll notice with the toolkit. And when you open it up, as you can see, all the tools are here. They're locked into place and held safely. And what's included here is 1 starting clamp, 1 blunt awl, 1 long needle nose, I guess you can call it awl, a brush, if I can get it out of here, which is a little bit longer and much thicker, much wider than the previous brushes, which is really nice because not only can you clean your jaws of your tools with this, you can also clean the jaws of your stringing machine with this one. So it's really, really nice. It comes with some string bed cutters, some nips, bent nose pliers, and my favorite tool, the Action Plier. Okay, now one of the things I said earlier was that these tools are very comfortable. I find them to be much more comfortable and much easier to work with than the previous versions of the toolkits from Babolat. One of the things you'll notice is they changed the coloring from blue. They also had a toolkit that was all black, and now they have a red and black color scheme, as you can see here with the string bed cutters. And all the handles on the toolkit have a rubberized material, which make them really just very nice to the touch and nice to hold on to and grip. They don't slip at all. And every single tool in this toolkit, what Babolat has done is made them a little bit, the diameter of the handles just a little bit bigger so that they feel more comfortable in your hand. And I'll show you what I mean. This is a awl from a previous toolkit, and you could just see how much thinner the diameter is on this one compared to this one. This one, you have somewhere to put your thumb on there to hold on to give you a little bit more leverage, whereas this one doesn't. And it just feels just a little bit just way too small in your hand, especially when you're using a tool like the blunt awl and moving strings around. There's the tool for this one, which is the blunt awl. It just feels a little bit just too small in your hand to move the string around, whereas this one, being a little bit larger handle, just fits so much nicer in your hand, where you don't have to squeeze it as hard. You barely have to hold your hand tight and just move the strings around, making it much more comfortable. And the material on these is just excellent. Of course, the tools have the stainless steel material, so Babolat really hasn't sacrificed as far as quality goes in making these tools. So that's the first thing you'll notice with the awls on this toolkit. They're just much easier to work with than the previous version. All right, now going from size, speaking about size as far as tool goes, these nips are just really a pleasure to work with. For the longest time, I've been searching for a small set of nips like this that make it very easy to tie off the knots and to get into really small and tight spaces on a racket. And I just absolutely, I can't say enough about these. I'm so happy that they made the nips this size. They're still very easy to hold in your hand. The handles are great. The nips themselves, I mean, they cut just everything. And I'll show you real quick in a second how well they cut. But they're so small, I mean, they're completely covered, as you can see in my hand. And I can get my hand all the way into tight spaces with just the head showing, and really be able to cut really tight spaces. As opposed to the previous version, you could see how big these nips are. So you can see Babolat really changed their sizing as far as the nips went. I was never a really big fan of these, although they are excellent. You could almost see that they're almost brand new. These are probably 10 or 15 years old. I barely use them. Just never was a really big fan because they're so long. Instead, I opted to use nail clippers or something else, Zurons, which were much smaller. But now with Babolat introducing this new toolkit, this has become one of my favorite tools in the set. And let me show you some strings real quick that I'm going to cut. Okay, now here I have just to show you the different types of strings and how easily these cut. Over here on my left, I have a soft multi-filament. This is a Babolat Excel. Here I have a monofilament, and here I have a very abrasive, very tough polyester string. And then here, of course, I have a Kevlar string. So let's cut these and show you real quick how easy these cut. As you can see, and they leave a nice sharp edge on the string. Here's a softer string, and you can see how easily it cuts it. And then of course a polyester, no problems. And again, it leaves a nice sharp edge on the string, so they cut really well. Kevlar, which is one of the tougher strings to cut, and you could see it left a very sharp edge on the Kevlar string. So it does a very good job on all the strings, as you can see there. So very happy with these. They do just an excellent job. And again, like I said, one of my favorite tools in the toolkit. Okay, so moving right along, the bent nose pliers. Again, in this case, there's really not a big change other than the handles. As you could see, these handles here are much thicker. So this tool again is going to be a lot easier to handle than these. And these were excellent, by the way. For the most part, all Babolat tools are, just of the highest grade and excellent quality. But it just goes to show you how Babolat continues to look for ways to improve their toolkits. And really, I think they're one of the few companies out there that really takes to heart to the stringer, with the history of their stringing machines and their history of stringing, that they really care about their tools, because this tool is just absolutely excellent, and they somehow found a way to improve it with the handles on this one. So there's not really much I could say on these other than, again, they're just excellent and they feel unbelievably nice in your hands. So you're going to be very pleased. Okay, next up is the string bed cutter. Here on my left is the older string bed cutter, and you could see that this thing is a giant compared to the newer string bed cutter, which is much smaller. This one here is really heavy and bulky to work with. One of the issues I had with this string bed cutter is you had to have it honed a lot, and you had to have it continuously sharpened, because it would lose its sharpness and it wouldn't cut very well, cut right through the strings. So I would typically sometimes use other type of string bed cutters, and you could see how this one's again fairly new. Rarely used it, although it's an excellent tool. Just didn't like it too much. This one, and I'll get this one out of the way. The new string bed cutter, when I grabbed it out of the toolkit, I thought there's no way that this thing is going to be able to cut very well. I could tell you again, I was wrong. This thing is super sharp. I've strung over 400 rackets with it so far in the last month of testing out this toolkit, and I am really surprised how well this cutter cuts. When you open it up, you have two different leverages that you can use, or opening angles that you could use on the string bed cutter. So if you close it, you can see here, if you raise it up to the top, it's going to open much wider, and if you swing it to the down position, it won't open as wide. So depending on what your needs are, you can change the configurations on it. But I could tell you that the string bed cutter has done an excellent job. It is super sharp and just does a really good job, and it's just much lighter than the previous versions of the string bed cutters. So once again, with the new handles being a little bit thicker and having that rubberized handles, makes it just very comfortable to do your work and cut out 15 or 20 string beds a day. And let's see how they cut. Okay, so same strings, the soft multifilament, the monofilament, the polyester here, and the Kevlar. And as you could see, this thing just flies right through the string. I mean, it's so sharp. And this is Kevlar here, guys. I mean, this thing is just like, I don't know if you can see the ends just flying off. You can see everything there. I mean, this thing is just excellent. So highly recommend the string bed cutters. All right, so on to my favorite tool in the toolkit. I love to use a cam action plier, and I tighten the knots on all my string jobs with this. It's also extremely handy for when I'm doing racquetball rackets, using the rounded head here to add a little bit of more tension on that last pull. And I have a video on that I'll link to our videos to show you how to use a cam action properly, and using the awl method to tie off string jobs. And here on my left, and I'm going to go one by one, and you could see that I absolutely just love this tool. This is the previous version of the tool, the last version of it, and you could see how much thicker the handles are on these, okay, than these. And these are excellent. I love this tool because when Babolat introduced this one, it was much shorter than the previous versions, making it much easier to work with. This one here, the newer one, is just a little bit longer, and of course it has the thicker handle, so it makes it much more comfortable to use than this one. And I'll put these down real quick, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The one before it was just a little bit longer, and then you'll see that the one before that one was even longer. And this one here is probably 35 years old. These tools, like I said earlier in the video, if you take care of them, they will last you a lifetime. Going from one of the first cam actions that Babolat introduced. This thing is brand new still. I still use this cam action mostly at home. It is of the highest quality, and I could tell you, going down the line from this one to this one to this one to now the newest one, they're all diamond dusted. They are all excellent, excellent. You will be happy with any one of these, but I gotta tell you, my favorite one of all of these is this one, the newest one, because it's just a little bit bigger than this one, but the handles are much thicker, so making it much easier to work with, and you get much more power and leverage out of this one without the effort. But it's not as heavy as this one. It's much, much, much lighter and just a little bit shorter, making it just a little bit easier to work with. So once again, Babolat doing just an excellent job really through the years with all the cam actions, just making them just a little bit better, and really I think thinking of the comfort of the stringer without sacrificing the performance. And of course, all of these are diamond dusted. Okay, so down to everybody's favorite tool as far as stringers, and this particular tool, the starting clamp, gets a lot of attention from stringers. The newest starting clamp from Babolat, of course, is going to have the newest logo, which I talked about earlier, the double-edged razor logo, and it has the wider jaw, which the previous one also has. But if you look closely, the neck on the newer one is just going to be a little bit thicker, a little bit wider than the previous version. Okay, and this came in two different colors. This came in a blue and a black. And it's an excellent starting clamp all the way around. Of course, it has the eyelet, so you could use it as a bridge. And the newest toolkit is excellent. Now, working down the line, as you can see, I'm a fan of this tool as well. Not sure if you can see the different logos on there. But going all the way to my left, which is this tool in particular here, you could see the very earliest Babolat logo, which is, I believe it's called the Mallet logo. And then, of course, you have the famous red VS starting clamp. And later on, they have the blue handle double line logo here. And going to the right, of course, this one right here is the newest starting clamp and the previous version. The reason I'm showing you these starting clamps is I'm showing you a little bit of differences in each one, from the thinner jaws all the way to the wider jaws that are being used now more. And now, obviously, they made another change with the neck being a little bit thicker. But one of the reasons I really wanted to bring all these starting clamps out, on top of the fact that people were asking me to do a video with all my different starting clamps, and I have a couple other ones, but to show you that what I say is true. This particular starting clamp is from the very, very early 80s, so it's well over 30 years old. And here you have one that's 1 month old. These starting clamps both have diamond dusting, are of the absolute highest quality. And if you take care of them, you could see that this one is still working as good today as it did the day it was made. And I promise you that if you take care of this one, they are expensive, you know, more expensive than the cheaper, and I don't use that word lightly. I like to use the word typically inexpensive, but really any starting clamp that you can compare to a Babolat starting clamp is cheaper. Not only is it inexpensive as far as price goes, but it is cheaper. It's not well made. It's cheaply made compared to a Babolat that will last you an absolute lifetime. And this, you know, this starting clamp probably has over 50 or 60,000 string jobs on it. And it's still, I don't even clean this thing. It's so good. It still works well. So I promise you that the quality of the new Babolat starting clamp is going to be just as good as this one. All right, so there's my review, and I highly recommend the toolkit. And you can contact Babolat USA. If you are looking for more information, you can send me a private email, and I'll give you a contact over at Babolat that you can speak to, and they'll take care of you. The toolkit you could buy as a whole toolkit, or you can always buy the pieces individually. And I don't have the pricing on each piece yet, but if you email me privately or message me through YouTube, I'll try to get that information to you as quickly as possible. I'll also be doing another video actually stringing a racket and showing you the toolkit in action. So if you have any questions, please let me know on the video, and thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed.